In this video, you will learn what happens as matter changes between a solid, liquid, and a gas. The video will discuss the names of each state change and changes in the particles as thermal energy is added. This video assumes that you have watched the videos on the particle theory of matter and the states of matter on this playlist. We will start at a solid and discuss what happens on the molecular level as heat is added to it. Remember, all the changes that will be discussed are considered physical changes. As energy is added to a solid object, its temperature will begin to rise, and the particles will move faster and faster until it reaches its melting point. Melting point is the temperature at which a solid begins to turn into a liquid. All substances have a melting point, but different substances have melting points at different temperatures. Now if we are moving in reverse, when a liquid loses enough energy to turn back into a solid, it is called freezing. The temperature at which a liquid turns into a solid is called a freezing point. Freezing point and melting point occur at the same temperature for a substance. Additionally, it is important to note that in some cases, a solid will heat up so quickly that it will skip the liquid phase entirely and turn straight into a gas. This process is called sublimation. Now at higher energy levels, when a liquid has gained enough thermal energy, its particles will begin to move fast enough to turn into a gas. The temperature of a liquid will continue to increase until it reaches its vaporization point. The vaporization point is the temperature at which a liquid turns into a gas. This is also known as the boiling point. This process can also be called evaporation under certain conditions. All substances have a boiling point, but just as in the melting point, this temperature is different for different substances. On the other hand, when a gas loses enough energy to turn back into a liquid, it's called condensation. The temperature at which this happens is called the dew point. Dew point and boiling point occur at the same temperature for a substance. Finally, let's take a look at how energy changes as particles move between states of matter. Heat is a form of energy called thermal energy. Thermal energy is measured in temperature. A higher temperature means a substance has more energy. This graph shows how temperature will change over time when a substance is heated. Time is on the x-axis and temperature is on the y-axis. Looking at the bottom left of the graph, you see that the temperature of a solid will increase at a steady rate until it reaches its melting point. The temperature will stop increasing at the melting point until all particles of the solid receive enough energy to turn into the liquid state. Once the solid has completely melted, temperature will again begin to rise until the liquid reaches its boiling point. Once again, the temperature will stop increasing at the boiling point until the substance has changed entirely into a gas. Once the entire substance is a gas, the temperature of the substance will begin to rise again. It is important to remember that the same thing would be seen when cooling down a gas. Temperature would decrease until the dew point was reached. At this point, the temperature would remain the same until the whole substance became a liquid. The same would occur when freezing. That's all for now. For more information about the states of matter, watch the other videos on this playlist.